Hello and welcome to the show. I am Joe Tophat. There have been many Christmas stories that explore the origins of Santa Claus. Two of the best known examples are the Rankin Bass special, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and The Life and Adventure of Santa Claus by Oz creator L. Frank Baum. Sergio Pablos offered his own take on Santa's origin with the 2019 animated movie Klaus. I've been wanting to talk about this movie for a long time, and now seems about as good a time as any. So without further ado, let's begin. The movie starts off with opening narration about the concept of letters. It brings up the fact that most people today don't write them anymore. There is, however, one person every kid writes a letter to, and that, of course, is Santa Claus. I really love this opening. It does a great job at setting the tone of the movie. With so much emphasis on letters, it makes sense for the main character to be a mailman. Yeah, even though this is a Santa Claus origin story, the main focus is on this guy. His name is Jesper Johansson. As you might have guessed from this screenshot, he's not your average mailman. Jesper is the son of the Postmaster General, so naturally he is very wealthy. Jesper is lazy, and he has been intentionally failing every opportunity his dad gives him. You see, Jesper isn't interested in having a career. He just wants to live in luxury. Also, he really loves his silk sheets. A lot of rich people worry about their kids ending up like Jesper, lazy, spoiled, and only wishing to live off the family fortune. You'd be surprised to see how many rich parents want their kids to have a work ethic. There's a good reason for that. You see, a lot of people become rich by working, whether it's through starting their own business or working at a job that pays well. Like any good parent, a rich person wants their kids to have a better life than they did. With that being said, they don't want to be seen as an ATM machine, which is exactly how a spoiled kid sees their parents. There's also the fact that no matter how much money a person has, it can disappear very quickly if you're not careful. And judging by the way Jesper is acting, that family fortune won't have long to last. Unfortunately for Jesper, his father happens to think he should have a work ethic. He knows what Jesper is doing. So instead of failing him, the Postmaster General decides to pass his son. He then gives Jesper the assignment of establishing a post office in an isolated place called Smeerensburg. If he fails to deliver 6,000 letters in 1 year, Jesper will be cut off. I love how the drill sergeant thinks the Postmaster General's punishment is too harsh. It would have been easy to have Jesper's mother object to the punishment, but having the drill sergeant object adds more weight to the punishment. He doesn't like Jesper, and firmly believes he needs discipline. If someone like him thinks this is too harsh, you know it's harsh. The Postmaster General agrees that his punishment is extreme, but he wants to give his son a wake-up call. One of the ways he does this is by making Jesper drive his own crummy carriage to meet Mogens, the ferryman, voiced by the late Norm Macdonald. Mogens is my favorite character in this movie. He enjoys messing with Jesper. In fact, he loves to mess with every mailman that's sent to Smearensburg. Mogens isn't in the movie for very long, but he leaves a huge impression. That's a sign of a good character, and a sign of Norm Macdonald's incredible voice acting. Perhaps this is as good a time as any to talk about Smearensburg. Smearensburg is the home of the Ellenbows and the Crumbs, two families that have been feuding for generations. You can tell them apart by their hair. The Ellenbows have red hair, while the Crumbs have black. In the center of town is a battle bell that whenever it's rung, the two families start to fight. Mogens loves to trick the new mailman into ringing it by telling them that the citizens would throw them a party. It was during this fight that Jesper meets Alva, a school teacher. Because the Ellenbows and the Crumbs don't want to send their kids to school to be around each other, Alva is forced to make a living as a fishmonger. She is rather bitter and is saving up all her money in order to get out of Smearensburg. Can't say I blame her. I think I'd be bitter too if I had to live in that dump. This feud also affects Jesper. You see, the Ellenbows and the Crumbs don't write letters. They are too busy fighting. Now you know why the drill sergeant thought this punishment was too harsh. We can debate on whether or not the Postmaster General was being a little too harsh. There's a good argument to be made for either side. I tend to think that Jesper's father didn't really want to send him to Smearensburg. It's just that Jesper kept intentionally squandering every opportunity he gave him, so he was forced to take extreme measures. As he is trying to collect letters from the citizens, Jesper finds a boy's drawing. The boy asked him to give it back. Sensing an opportunity, Jesper tries to get the boy to throw down a penny so he can stamp the drawing and mail it to him. Unfortunately, the boy's father sends his dogs to chase Jesper away. After trying without success to collect letters, Jesper learns about a woodsman who lives all alone in the cabin. In a fit of desperation, Jesper rides off to visit him. He finds that nobody is home. Going through the cabin, Jesper finds a large number of toys. Yeah, in case you haven't guessed, the woodsman is Santa Claus. This is Klaus, voiced by J.K. Simmons. He looks a little scary, doesn't he? Jesper thought so too. That's why he ran away. He accidentally leaves behind his mailbag with the drawing inside. Klaus finds the drawing that shows the little boy feeling sad. Now this version of Santa Claus doesn't really say much. He doesn't act all that jolly either, but he does have a good heart. So Klaus finds Jesper and has him deliver a toy to the little boy. This proves easier said than done, since Klaus insists that Jesper deliver the toy late at night and inside the kid's house, where there are a ton of traps. When the boy finds his present, he spots Klaus watching him through the window. He tells his cousins about his present, so the kids show up to the post office to ask about getting a toy. This inspires Jesper to tell all the kids to write letters to Klaus to receive a toy. Thus the legend of Santa Claus is born. The rest of the movie pretty much shows Jesper and Klaus going on these nightly deliveries and how many of the customs associated with Santa Claus got started, like leaving milk and cookies, the naughty and nice list, and the flying reindeer. Even though Jesper's motivation is to get out of Smeerensburg, his actions leave a positive impact. The kids who don't know how to read or write go to Alva to learn. She ends up spending all the money she had been saving to buy supplies. To stay off the naughty list, the kids start to do nice things for other people, even if that person happens to be from the other family. The adults don't like it at first, but over time it starts to leave an impact on them. The Ellenbows and the Crumbs start to learn how to be good neighbors. The heads of the Ellenbow and Crumb family aren't pleased with this development, but we'll get to that later. These nightly visits start to leave an impact on Jesper as well. At first he only wanted to do this just to get to his 6,000 letters goal. Heck, it was Jesper's idea to do the big delivery for Christmas because his deadline was approaching and they were running out of toys. The kids were only a means to an end for him. Jesper didn't even want to listen to this one girl named Margot because she spoke a different language. Over time, he starts to form a bond with Klaus and even enjoys delivering toys. He also takes the time to bring the girl to Alva to learn what she's saying. Basically, she's from another village and she wants a sled. The fact that Jesper took the time to learn what Margot is saying really shows character development. He learns that Klaus was once married to a woman named Lydia. Klaus and Lydia planned on having a huge family. That's the reason why he made so many toys. Unfortunately, they couldn't have any kids. After Lydia died, Klaus just lived like a hermit. He spent a lot of time making birdhouses because she loved birds. I honestly wasn't expecting Klaus's backstory to be that depressing, but it's nice to know that Jesper gave him a purpose again. Klaus agrees to do the big Christmas delivery, and they enlist the aid of Alva and the Sami people from Margot's village. It's from them that Klaus receives his red suit. As I said earlier, Mr. Ellenbow and Mrs. Crumb hate how their families no longer want to fight. So they call a truce to try to solve the problem. They learn about Jesper's goal, so they have 14,000 letters delivered to get rid of him. Jesper's father shows up as they are preparing for Christmas, revealing Jesper's selfish intentions for doing all this. Needless to say, the others don't take this revelation very well. Yeah, it's one of those liars reveal things. A lot of people don't like them, but they've never bothered me. I actually do enjoy them, including this one. Jesper's father is impressed with what he had accomplished. He believes his son will rise up in the world. After learning that Jesper wants to stay in Smeerensburg, the Postmaster General allows him to stay. Upon finding out that the elders of the families are going to destroy the toys, Jesper tries to save them. After one epic chase scene, Jesper learns that Klaus and Alva already knew about the plot and replaced all the toys with wood. A nice subversion of the liar having to come back to save the day. However, it wasn't all for nothing. Mr. Ellenbow's daughter and Mrs. Crumb's son fall in love and got married, thus ending the feud once and for all. The fact that Jesper came back showed how much he had changed. Jesper and Alva would end up getting married. For 11 years, Jesper and Klaus would make their Christmas deliveries, not only in Smeerensburg, but in other places as well. On the 12th year, Klaus mysteriously disappears. The movie never explains what happened to him. The movie ends with Jesper tucking his kids into bed. He sits by the fireplace, saying that every year he gets to see his friend. Klaus is a modern Christmas classic that I try to watch every year. The animation is absolutely beautiful, and the story is a unique spin on Santa's origin. The fantasy element is downplayed compared to other stories like The Life and Adventure of Santa Claus, but it's still there. I really love the friendship between Jesper and Klaus. It's the main reason why this movie works so well. Some might not like the fact that the movie never explains what happened to Klaus. Honestly, I'm glad they kept it a mystery. Some things are best left to the imagination. Like All for Christmas, Klaus is a modern Christmas classic. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. And don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later.